Dawn, 29th of September 2022, Pakistan would rather be a bridge between China and the US than play geopolitical football, according to Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. Pakistan will take money from the US and China and betray them. Pakistan's foreign minister, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, wants Pakistan to be a bridge between China and the US instead of making things worse or being a geopolitical football. During an interview with Foreign Policy, the foreign minister said these things in response to several questions about Islamabad's relationships with Washington and Beijing, especially regarding the help that Washington and Beijing had promised and given in the wake of disastrous floods. What China does is totally up to China, whether with Sri Lanka or Pakistan. Just like it's 100% America's decision in either of these situations, he said after Foreign Policy's Ravi Agarwal pointed out that Beijing hasn't quite come to Pakistan's aid in a big way after this year's devastating floods and that Sri Lanka didn't get much help from China after an economic crisis. China has invested much money into Pakistan and Sri Lanka as part of its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative. China wants to set its troops in specially designed outposts to protect its interests. Bilawal said, "I don't want Pakistan to be a point of competition or a place where tensions between China and the US worsen. Instead, I want Pakistan to keep playing the same role we have in the past." At first, Pakistan was a link between China and the US. This led to formal relations between China and the US. China and the US are having a war of words over how to help Pakistan with its debt and flood aid to help it deal with the effects of this year's floods. This is the context for Bilawal's comments. On Monday, U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken told Pakistan that it should ask China to forgive some of its debts. He also said that Washington would stand by Islamabad in these challenging times. China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin called out the U.S. for passing unwarranted criticism against Pakistan-China cooperation and asked it to do something real and helpful for the people of Pakistan. Bilawal, for his part, has asked both world powers to put their differences aside and work together to solve the problem of climate change. He also said that Pakistan had wanted to be friends with China when no one else did. Now, nobody wants to be friends with China, he said, explaining how China had helped Pakistan in recent years. China wants to grow its power in Central Asia through Pakistan, so it has made intelligent investments there. Bilawal also talked about the foreign help Pakistan has received so far to deal with the devastating floods. He said the international reaction to Pakistan's pleas for service was fantastic, but it was only a drop in the ocean compared to what the country needed. He also said that Pakistan would better understand how bad the damage was after figuring out how much it would cost to pay for the damage caused by the floods. Right now, it's just a guess, but $30 billion is how much damage is thought to have been done. Agarwal asked Bilawal if Pakistan was getting help from India or if India was planning to help Pakistan deal with the damage caused by the rains. Bilawal's answer to both questions was no. The interviewer then asked the foreign minister if he had asked for help to deal with the flood damage. "No, to be truthful. No one has asked me. I didn't ask the US for help, they did it independently. China didn't have to help, but they did it anyway. Didn't ask the Middle East for help, they helped on their own," Bilawal said. "I think that when bad things happen to people, it tests everyone's humanity." The interview also discussed Pakistan's relationship with the US and how it has changed. Agarwal drew parallels between the help Washington gave during the deadly floods of 2010 and the service it provided during the floods of 2022. Today, US help is only a small part of what it used to be. Does it worry you that the relationship between Pakistan and the United States isn't what it used to be? He wanted to know. Bilawal said, "No, I'm much happier with our relationship with America now than I was in 2010. I think we were called AFPAC and only looked at through the lens of Afghanistan." He said that since Islamabad got back in touch with the US State Department and the US government, we've seen a more broad-based conversation about our trade ties. But if we want to be honest, we must admit that the world has changed. Pakistan and the US aren't the only places that have changed. We've seen an outbreak like we've never seen before. We have witnessed Kabul fall. We've seen what's going on in Ukraine. The economy is very different. And a lot of money is spent at home and on other problems worldwide. I'm aware that everyone has problems with the economy at home.